Alright, hello. Welcome to my very first Diablo 3 video. In this video, I will be showing you my monk gear and my monk build I'm using currently. This build can farm from anywhere from MP5 to MP10. So I'll show you MP5 and MP10 with this. So just let me pause the video and I will get into game. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back, and first off, let's start off with my gear. Currently I'm at 196k DPS with 53% crit chance with the Scoundrel, 468 crit damage, and 660 all-res. You want around 600 all-res to do MP10, but the more the better, and the more room you'll have to get rid of some to get more damage. So first off, my gear, you could use 2 daggers to make this build even better, or you can use just 2 somewhat faster weapons. So I use an Echoing Fury and an axe. So on my Echoing Fury, I went for high crit damage with the lifesteal with dex and at least 0.24 attacks per second, with high DPS of course. And on my offhand, my axe, I went for dex, min-max damage, weapon percent damage, critical hit chance with at least 50, lifesteal with an open socket. Next, I got a 2-piece Enas. You're not gonna want to get you don't want a Mempho Twilight until you can get at least a 5%, at least a 4% crit chance Mempho. But for now, I'm using the Enas Radiance and the Enas Temperance. So on my Enas Radiance, I went for at least 160 dex, at least 70 vitality, all res, and 1 type of resistance. So now I'm a fire res monk. For my pants, I just went for high vitality. Now on these, if you want to try getting at least 150, but if it's not that much more expensive, maybe 1 or 2 more mil to get 160 vitality, I say take it. But if it's like 10 mil difference between 150 and 160 or 160 to 170 vitality, don't take it. For my next set piece, I have Natalia's Bloody Footprints and Natalia's Reflection for a 7% increased crit chance. So on the boots, you want to try getting high dex with your type of resistance and all res. It automatically comes with the all res and the armor and the movement speed. Same with the Enas pants. It always comes with movement speed. So that's your 24% right there. And then for my reflection, I went for 4% crit chance, average damage, and dex. Next, I went with the Unity with high average damage, somewhat high dex. As you know, Unities can get a lot higher dex than 165, but I also have crit damage on mine. So I just went for crit damage and high average damage, and this is what I have. Next, my gloves, I went with Trifecta with fire resistance, 150 dex. What I searched up for these is 7% crit chance, 8.5% crit chance, and 30 crit damage. That's what I found. On my bracers, I went for all res, my type of resistance, 120 dex, and 140 vitality with some crit chance. I searched up 4%. Next, for my amulet. On your amulet, if you're going to get Trifecta, you still want to try getting at least 60% crit damage. But on my amulet, I went for high vitality and high average damage, high dex. You can either go with life percent or high vitality. Life percent was just better and it was cheaper for me at the time. So I went with that, and I also got at least 60% crit chance and at least 9% crit chance. I went with Biowards because I haven't crafted any of my own shoulders yet. I'm going to start doing that soon. But this is what I have for my shoulders. pretty basic vile words with all res, the type of resistance I want, dex, vitality, pretty basic. And now I went with the Black Thorns chest piece because these are amazing. Has high all res, always has 3 sockets, and it takes reduced damage from ranged attacks, and it also has high vitality with high dex. So that's always good. And then for my belt, there's a few ways you could go with your belt. You can either go with one without the armor, but with all res and your type of resistance, or you can get your type of resistance with vitality, or you can go get your type of resistance with bonus armor. That's what I went with. And I also went with 9% attack speed and 45% crit chance and crit damage. So that's my build. So yeah, moving on to the skills. You want to use, well, first of all, let me tell you what this build is all about. This is a dodge monk. So pretty much, the monk, you pretty much don't get hit at all. Okay? You still get hit, but you don't get hit that often. So first off, you start off with Fist of Thunder with Lightning Flash, because each time you attack, your dodge gets increased by 16% for 2 seconds. So you attack once, 16% for 2 seconds. Attack again, that 2 seconds gets refreshed. Next, I went with Dashing Strike with Blinding Speed for every time I use it, I gain 20% dodge chance for 3 seconds. I went with, and then for my Sweeping Wind, I went with Cyclone. You can also use Firestorm, just because of the radius increased. But I went with Cyclone because the tornadoes can proc my lifesteal. So yeah. Next, I went with Blinding Flash with Faith and Light, just to raise my DPS a little more. I also went with Breath of Heaven with Blazing Wrath because it heals, and I also increase damage. Now the main mantra, the mantra you only want to use with this type of build is Mantra of Evasion with Backlash. Because each time you dodge, you reflect 75% weapon damage to all nearby enemies. So then, anything inside the Mantra of Evasion radius is, every time you dodge a chance, takes 75% weapon damage. And since with this, you're going to be dodging over probably around 2 to 3 times every 4 hits. So that is a lot. You want to use Sixth Sense for your passive, Guardian's Path since you're dual wielding, and one with everything. Now, if you do decide to use this with a two-hander, you're not going to want to be using that. You're going to want to be using either Combination Strike, Beacon of Yatar to refresh Faith and Light, or Siege of Initiative, or even Near Death Experience. Those are still good. Or you can even use Fleet-Footed. So yeah, those are 5 other passive skills you can use instead of Guardian's Path. But if you're two-handed, you're going to want to use Guardian's Path. So yeah, now let's move on. I'm going to be going in here. Let's go over here. This is the Warrior's Rest in MP5. This can do MP5. A bit laggy. Pop my Blazing Wrath and Mantra of Evasion. And the good thing is, though, you can also use this to like block the block frozen. See, and if they ever run away, or if you, like in this build, you want to try being in the middle of the pack. Now, as you can see, that was super easy. I don't recommend using this build on MP5 if you have the damage. Now, I was wrong. You don't want to use Cyclone. You want to use Firestorm, because you're going to be in the middle of everything. So that will just buff the damage. You'll just get way more damage. So yeah, next, Let's change quest. Let's do this on MP10. MP10. If you want, you guys can add me. My battle tag is XLSPK hashtag or number sign 1651. So yeah, this is MP10 now. Warrior's Rest with the Dodge Monk. Here we go. Gonna want to use that there. As you can see, I'm taking like no damage, and with Blazing Wrath, look at my damage now. And inside like Desecrator, you can always just use the Dashing Strike to get out of it, or even to get out of Frozen like that. As you can see, I dodged the Frozen. So pretty much Dashing Strike takes the place of Thunderclap on Fist of Thunder. Dashing Strike. Now, you can always just keep on spamming your mantra, because as you can see, I'm at 17. When I use it, I'm at 76. That's an extra 4% on the mantra for dodge. An extra 4%. See, but that's not always good to do, since sometimes you might need it for like healing rune, because like right here I'm gonna need it for the healing rune right there, and if I didn't have any spirit, that would have been bad and I would have died. See, but I wouldn't recommend doing this on MP10 either, because it's still a little hard unless you have a bunch of attack speed and damage. So this build is more for around MP7 maybe, MP7 MP7 to MP9. But yeah, hopefully I dodged that. Nope, didn't dodge that one that time. So you just want to lure it out of the Desecrators. And you can always, if you can time Dashing Strike, and you can also get rid of and also escape the Frozen like I just did right there. But yeah, unless you have super high DPS and super high attack speed, this Dodge Monk is not what you want to be using for MP10. As you can see, I didn't time that one. Alright, so yeah, that was it right there. Make sure to read the description for some more info. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, this is the Dodge Monk, and hope you guys didn't like this monk. It's not a monk you see all the time, so it's just some kind of variety. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and goodbye.